the lenses of Ghanaians who are attending the schools. Sometimes it's alumni of the schools, but this afternoon, we really have current students of Michigan Technological University who are here to share their experiences with us. This program is an Education USA program. If you are new to Education USA, I just want you to know that our main goal as Education USA is to help you to study in the US with as much funding as possible. There's Education USA Kumasi, which is based at ACE Consults Asuka. And there's Education USA Accra, which is based at ACE Consults Osu Accra. Accra location is on the Oxford Street at Osu. If you need any help to study in the US, that's the role we play. For represent your school, I have the panel here to be able to talk, but I'll quickly introduce myself so that at least you get to know who is facilitating this session. My name is Marilyn Owusu, and I'm an Education USA advisor based in Kumasi. So as the program goes on, we'll try as much as possible to give you all the information you need. Type in your questions here on Facebook to answer them for you. So without taking too much time, I would want to start with Eugene. Kindly introduce yourself to us.
Okay, so my name is Eugene Brown Nakonweji, and I'm currently a PhD student at Michigan Technical University. Before coming here in Ghana, I attended Oforipen Senior High School and went to the best university, University of Ghana. I had my undergraduate there, uh, English and history, but I majored in English, and then also continued to do my master's degree in communication studies and MPhil in communication studies in the same school. Yes, and then proceeded to Michigan Tech. In the corporate world, I work with Media Foundation for West Africa and also work sometime as freelance journalist, bringing for Worldview for Women and also working with uh, media organizations like Al Jazeera and QZ. And here I'm in the communication studies department, and my research is focusing on the influence of social media algorithms on social movements. And the focus is studying two countries, Ghana and
Yeah, I am Kwejuan Pedubati. Back in Ghana, I attended Kumasi High School, which in my opinion is the best school in Ghana. After Kumasi High School, I proceeded to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology to offer civil engineering for my undergraduate level. From there, I moved to Louisiana State University, where I had a master's in civil engineering. Um, Mostly with transportation related stuff, so road construction, road maintenance, and all of that. After that, I decided to go in for the PhD, which I'm currently pursuing at Michigan Technological University. Um, I'm also like ready to answer questions as and when they come in.
Thank you, President at Michigan Tech.
Still civil engineering.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
So we have somebody from communications, we have somebody from civil engineering. I'm just waiting to see Cornelius will say, because someone says University of Ghana is the best school. Someone says Kumasi High. He didn't even say KDUSU. Charlie. But I like the name of Kumasi High School. You guys, you rock. You rock. Cornelius, please introduce yourself for us.
Okay, my name is Cornelius Sonkogole. I had my primary and junior high school in St. Andrew's Catholic School at Wa. I had my senior high school at St. Michael's Boys, which is also called Nandom Senior High. And I think it's the best school in Upper West. And I know some people from Xavier would say otherwise, but I know what I'm talking about. And then even in Ghana, we are one of the top SHS schools that you can think about. After that, I went to KNUST, which I'm going to dispute what Eugene just said. I know we all know that KNUST is the best school in terms of like at the tertiary level in Ghana. I studied English as my major, then read politics as my minor. And after that, I transitioned here to MTU, where I'm reading communication with an interest in insurance claims discourse. I'm specifically looking at letters like where insurers and claimants kind of have like a banter in discourse. So I'm kind of looking at how these letters can be used as tools of marginalization. So the idea is to give voice to policyholders to make sure that these insurance companies don't take advantage of them. So this is basically a bit about me, and I'm happy to be here to join in this particular program. Whatever questions you have, I'll be happy to share my experiences here in the USA.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I'm happy you've all shared your background, and I like the Kumasi part, I like the Accra part, I like the Upper West part, which means that the whole Ghana, we are well represented on this program. So this program seeks to know your schools very well. So I'm going to ask you to give me 5 adjectives, in your opinion, as to why your school stands out. Describe your school for me in 5 adjectives. You're all coming from the same school, so I'm just waiting to hear what you all say. When you give us the adjective, give us the backing of the adjective as to why you're saying that. So I think, Kwadwo, I'll come to you this time around.
Yeah, I think the adjective I would go with is beautiful. Our campus is very beautiful, especially in the summer. We are very lucky to lie just next to a lake. So we have a wonderful lakefront. And then occasionally we have cruise ships who travel from across the world coming to our schools. So these are not things you see regularly in other schools. Also, with the kind of architecture we have in the school, I think the school is very, the layout is very well planned, with a bit of greenery and then a mix of everything. Actually, we even have our own ski course where if you are interested in doing snow-related activities, you can go there, do skiing. So these are like things known for like rich people associated with luxury. And if you have the chance to have that in your school, I think that's the best adjective to describe such a school is beautiful.
So if people are the Dada beasts, the Dada beasts, Michigan, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Wow, that's one adjective. Cornelius, how will you describe your school? I'm coming around with 5 for each of you, so.
Yeah, I think I would say innovative, supportive, community-based, interdisciplinary, and just like Kojo said, like it's kind of a scenery when you come to MTU. Innovative in the sense that we're one of the leading schools in terms of engineering, and interdisciplinary in the sense that most of our programs cut across. So if you're doing communication, doesn't mean you are just focused on the humanities aspect of it. You can also cross board to the computer science, to other areas of focus as well. So these adjectives, I think, could kind of like sum up what MTU is. And if you look at current trends in terms of technology, we're also up there as well. So that speaks to the innovative aspect of our school. And let me just add a bit about the supportive aspect. Looking at in terms of research and grants and all those things, they are available funds grants for students to pursue their interest. So I think these adjectives does justice to my school in my perspective.
Let me worry you a bit. I appreciate everything you said, but you said something that I know lies on the hearts of every Ghanaian. And
Okay.
you mentioned funding.
Yes.
That's if you need money, you can get it. Please explain in capital letters how that is possible.
Yeah, that's possible. One, based on what you'd like to do here in the first place, your research. Two, when you get here, there are a lot of opportunities. Where do you go when you come here? What do you want to do? So in terms of finding opportunities, they are there. And like I said, it's about what you're coming to do here. So there shouldn't be a warning here to a program where you are not funded. Like I can testify, I'm a testimony of that. So and say less than that, something like that, yeah, something in that light.
This is come back full force.
Yeah, I
on the
have
funding.
I have something for you in that regard.
Thank you. Eugene, please share your adjectives with us and back it up.
So I think they've mentioned really interesting things about our school, but they never mentioned code. It's very never mentioned cold because it snows here for almost like 6 months in a year. So yes, very cold. But also it comes with some kind of winter beauty. So your Christmas is very white. The weather and the snow, it makes it very white and it's snow. And I mean you can take beautiful photos. Winter. Yes, at least that's one thing too that American experience. And I think our school has been ranked as the snowiest campus in the US. So you can expect the amount of snow that we get. And I think that I mean it's also rigorous for people in every department. Cornelius mentioned that the kind of collaboration you do. We are in like communication and new media and all of that and running programs. We sometimes have to collaborate with people from engineering and because our school is, I mean, technology focused and engineering focused, our projects always are interdisciplinary, and that's a good thing. And also, the community, the school is very supportive. Students and faculty members who are very supportive of your research, your ideas, and the kind of things you want to put in your research, and even for others. And for the graduate school, it's a bit diverse. So you meet, I think, students from community that our school is situated in, which is Fulton. Together, I mean, with Michigan Tech, we have Parade of Nations every fall, where all countries we are parade through the town and then showcase our cultures and then our food and everything that we have. Yes, I think yes, and it's beautiful that they have already said, but we cannot go past that one. As very beautiful in the summer and in the fall. Yes, our fall colors are really great.
Wow, you're making me wish I could be a student again and come check Michigan Technological University out. See my chances of just posing and taking selfies at the different times of the year. But most importantly, getting funding to be able to study. I like what you all said. Let me ask you this. I'm sure you will have different experiences. You'd have different ways. Your applications will not be the same. And you all happen to be graduate students. I want to find out how you did your applications. What motivated you to choose the school in the first place? And then how was the application process for each of you? I really would want to hear from each of you. So maybe Cornelius, you can start.
Okay, so I think mine, I'm just a recent student, less than a year here. So I think I'm the best person to say what happened in my case. It's just still fresh in my mind, just like less than a year ago. So what I did was, before deciding on MTU, I had joined a research seminar here organized by a lecturer of mine back at KNUST, Dr. Osei Wakoto. It was a research seminar that kind of touched me a lot in terms of the clarity with which the students here gave us like explanations to concepts that are kind of like complex to us at that particular time. That was somewhere in my third year, but I liked the opportunity that the clarity with which he explained most of the things. And I was like, if I ever decide to go abroad to study, this would be one particular school I would like to go into. And then when I was done with my undergraduate degree, I decided, okay, let me see the school, what they have for me. I went through the application process, the website, I saw the requirements, and I said, okay, I think I fit. This is exactly what I'm looking out for. I filed in the application, or it's a portal system where you just look at the requirements and whatever is expected of you. So I filed in my application. I was like, okay, let me wait and see what happens. Now, a lot of things went into it. Like after completing everything, I was told to come for an interview of a sort to engage with the faculty members and see whether our research actually aligns or not. So it was during this particular session that I got to know more about the faculty here in terms of what they do and how I can also help also learn from them as well. So just I think a day after the interview, I got my admission. So people always ask me is, did you reach out to a faculty member before filing your application or not? So for our department, I don't know if that of Kojo, but for our department, you don't need to reach out to a professor here to kind of express your research interest. What you need to do is just look at what they are doing here and see if you find a niche in your own space to work within this particular place. So that's what I did, and I just in my writing sample, I expressed my interest in 1 to 3 of the different research areas that I would like to endeavor in here. And then yes, it came out and I was successful. Just like 2 days after my kind of an interview of a sort, I was given my admission. And here I am reading my master's in technical communication.
Thank you. This is good. This is good. So you did the applications, but after the application, you did an interview.
Yes.
And I'm happy you're talking about the interview because for quite a number of schools, it's just the applications you will do. But there are some schools that want to know you on a more personal level to see, as you rightly said, if your visions and your missions align and what you are interested in aligns with what the school also wants. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Thanks for sharing. Eugene, do you want to go second? You are muted.
Yes. So my application process was kind of different from Cornelius's application because I didn't have to do an interview, but I had to write my essays. And so before deciding on Michigan Tech, I had applied to other schools and I was looking for a communication program that was also rooted in technology. So my broader research interests in new media technologies and then algorithms. And so I was really interested in a communication program that would offer the general communication studies curriculum and also give me that new media technology approach to understanding the kind of things that I was really interested in. And so I looked for schools that would do that. And our department is that kind of department. It's very interdisciplinary. So you have the communication studies before, you have the typical media studies scholars, then you have the digital media section, you have the philosophy people and the languages. So all of us are in the same department, but our research, we have intersections in our research, and you even have the gender people and communication people in our research. So we find that students do a lot of different research projects in the same department. And so that, I think, attracted me to Michigan Tech. And I went through the application processes, submitted all my materials, and yes, they didn't require me to submit an English language test because I think in our department it's waived for Ghanaians. You don't have to. Some African countries you don't have to, and I think they've seen quite a number of Ghanaian students or African students to determine our proficiency in English language, and so. Yes, that is how it went through. And then I put in the application and then I got the email to check my application status. And so I think, yeah, I saw the email a day after they offered me the admission. Yes.
Wow. another perspective, which is very interesting, so that for yours, your essay spoke for you, which at some point I would want us to talk about it, because when students come in and you tell them you need a compelling statement of purpose, they look at you and it's like, what's the big deal? But I'm happy. I'm happy you've mentioned it. And I'm sure you had to be a good student anyway for you to have been considered in the first place. So the fact that you also didn't do an interview, but you actually got in, so shows how diverse the application process is. So it gives everybody hope that yes, it may be through interviewing, it may be through just the regular applications, but it's possible to get in. And I'm sure you also got funding.
Yes, yes. And also, I didn't have to contact any of the professors also for my application, and which in other departments people have to do and talk to a professor who shares their research interest. I didn't do any of that. I just looked at the profiles of them and saw their research areas, but I didn't reach out personally, which I don't advise people not to do that. You can reach out, but in a department that doesn't hold any, kind of power in terms of your application process. Once you fit and you don't have to reach out to anybody. But I have a colleague who had reached out to one of the professors and told them about their research interest. Yes, but I was fully funded. So
The colleague who reached out to the professor was a person admitted?
yes, I think my time were just only two that admitted.
You were only two
For my cohort, yes.
for your cohort.
Yes.
Wow, 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 wow. Then the school is very competitive to get in.
I would say so. Maybe yes, for all the other departments, I know I think Michigan Tech is very competitive. Yes, because I know so many people who also applied that couldn't get in. And I've seen some of them, I've seen their series, I've seen the kind of things they've done in Ghana. Some of them I even worked with, I know personally. And I think they are very strong candidates. But I mean, they couldn't get in. Some of them they applied at the time Cornelius did and still couldn't get in. So I think it's competitive. And it's a holistic, consideration that they give, not just your academic work, other things, so your professional experience, your academic or your research interest, and other minor things that like the essay that people would not really pay attention to.
So that when we are coming, we need them to be
Yes.
able to come. We shouldn't just take it that we are just filling any application. It must come with a lot of hard work and vim. All right, we'll be facing you people very soon. Thank you. Kwadwo, please share your application process with us.
Yeah, I think what I would add to what they just said is that as students going through the application process, mostly one of the hindrances is cost, because you find out that the application fees can be very high, and in some cases you'd also need to do a test for proficiency or GRE, which all would accrue in the cost you would have to pay. So for me, one reason why I chose Michigan Tech was that it's relatively cheap. At the time I was applying, there was no application fee. I don't know if it's still the same. I think Cornelius is the newest member to join us, so I would want to confirm that from him. But at the time, it was free, and so it's always the best option because one is free, and if you are from Ghana, the proficiency tests are also waived for you, so it makes the work a bit easier for you. So in my case, I also had to put in some emails out there. Mostly we'll call those cold emails to get some sort of interaction with the professors. Actually, I didn't get any feedback from them. So you do not have to be discouraged. So I just went ahead and just applied after going to the website and seeing that I had met the requirements, and then the research we were doing aligned with what I wanted to do. I just put in an application, and about a week later, I had an interview where I had to discuss what I previously did in my master's study And then based on that, I got the application in about 2 or 3 days. So with Michigan Tech, I would say that it's fast, unless maybe you're not going to get it. But if only you put in the application and you're going to be selected, maximum in about 2 weeks, you would get a response from them. And so for me, I would say I look more at the cost aspect during the application. Yes.
How expensive is the school?
Oh, so like I'm funded, so I don't have
So
to
you
pay.
don't,
yeah. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is, most schools do have application fees. Some can be as high as $100. And getting that for a young person who is applying for schools, assuming you want to do 5 schools, and then you would have to pay like $100 for all the 5. And then you would have to write a TOEFL or other proficiency exams. The cost can be a bit burdensome. And so with ours, the application fee was free. I think now it's $10. It's still very manageable.
Affordable.
Yes. And so those were the consideration I took into before doing that.
How many of you are in your cohort?
Come again?
How many people are in your cohort?
Actually, at the time that I got into the civil engineering department, I think I was the first Black person in quite a long time.
Wow.
Yes. But along the years, it has changed. So now we do have about 10 or 15 African students. So I think with what I've seen, it just takes one person to break through, and then getting admitted if they apply.
So
Margaret, to add to
generally,
Kojo's point about, getting in there and breaking that glass ceiling, if I have to use that. It's important because in our department, I think, like I said, because they've seen Ghanaians. When I came here, I think one of the things our department, the graduate director said is that he has reviewed a lot of Ghanaian transcripts, and so he's able to tell like authentic Ghanaian transcripts from, and he knows the kind of students that come from Ghana. And the previous chair of the department had also, made similar comment about the kind of work ethic that Ghanaians come with, or even African students come with. But we have a very good reputation in the department, and so usually when that happens, it's easy for the school to admit more people like you and bring them to the department. Like Kojo has said, now there are more like 15 students. When I came, I think in my department there were, I think, 3 other Ghanaians. One had just completed, so 3 other Ghanaians were still there, and I was the 4th.
Wow. 3 people,
Just
but
to add,
have been good examples.
Okay, let me add to what in relation to like having somebody set the pace for you in your department. I think it's very key because our cohort I think that he gets a number of people that filed in the applications and didn't get. So one thing that surprised us was like our cohort, we are 8 in number, and 3 of us are from Ghana. So it goes in to say that if you have people that set the pace for you, it makes the decision making for these admission committees and people very easy for them. And that also goes into the selection process, has to do with like the vacancy that is available. So from my interaction with our graduate director, it has to do with like how many students are graduating each year. So if you have a particular year where we have a lot of students graduating from the PhD or the master's program, it means they would have a lot of like vacancies for incoming students. So for Eugene's case, they had only 2 people, but our cohort, we have about 8 students coming in, and 3 of us are from Ghana, 1 from Nigeria, then the rest are like natives here. So it's a contributing factor as to how decisions are made. So when you are here, the expectation is that Ghanaians have been here and they've gone to this particular level. You don't have any like for the admission fee. I think we call it is, it's not actually, it's actually for processing of international students. That's what they call it. They call it international search or something of the sort. So I actually paid only $10 for that particular for my application fee. And as somebody who studied in an English instruction institution back in Ghana, the expectation was that I didn't need to do GRE or TOEFL or most of those English test proficiency when I was coming here. I actually just waived it when I was, and that's just something a bit to add to the application process.
Wow. This is good education for all of us, really. Because I've heard a lot about Michigan Technological University. I don't know why I thought there would be a lot of international students. But let me ask you this. For us as advisors, most of us tell students that if you're applying to any school, make sure that the number of international students there are at least 3% of the school's population. And from how you're things, I'm not sure what the population is, but how has your experience been? How have you felt being on campus? Cornelius, you are the newest baby.
Yeah. So I would say, I think it's even one of the reasons that also influenced my decision, because I had other offers, but when I looked at our department and I had somebody there that I could liaise with and ask questions, it was actually fulfilling. So just last year, by this time, I was sending emails and text messages, voice calls to Eugene, who is by fate, he's also on this particular program, just to get that I don't feel lost when I come here. So that influenced my decision to come here. And actually, when I got here, I realized that there's a strong international student body here and a lot of Ghanaians. And as I speak now, I don't even know all the Ghanaians that are on campus right now. Sometimes you go to Walmart, you turn left, right, then all of a sudden somebody's like, hello, are you a Ghanaian? And then you start vibing with your local dialect of a sort. So we have quite a strong international, and it makes you feel like at home, like far from home, like you have an affinity or a common folk that you can engage with. So it makes things easy. Sometimes the academics can be kind of heady and difficult at times, but when you meet people back like from your place, talk about a lot of things, and they actually examples from traveling when you get here, how you get to campus and all those things. There are structures in place to make sure that the transition isn't that kind of like difficult for you, new or that kind of. So they just lessen or make it not overwhelming us. And we do have like a community-based kind of discussions where we meet, we have fun, we do cultural displays and what have you. We have African night. I missed it for some reason. I was in Chicago to do some research for that particular period, but it was very fun and I watched the videos and I liked it. So if anyone decides to come to MTU, just have at the back of your mind that you have a community here, you have a Ghanaian community here, an African community here that would welcome you with open arms. So far, in terms of like acclimatizing on campus, in terms of community, I think it has been good for me. Not so much when I got to my various airport. That's another story to share alongside the discussion. But for finding an international body or students back home here is very, very easy. We have a strong, I don't know of the statistics, but when I spoke to the IPS director, there was an indication that Ghana is either the second or the third highest population of like international students on campus. So yeah, that's a bit of what my experience here.
I'm happy to hear this. You put my mind at ease. Kwadwo and Eugene, what do you have to say about this?
Eugene, the community, the international community, I think, or Ghanaian community, let me just focus on Ghanaian. I think it's expanding, and it's also a bit interesting because when I came here, I think the Ghanaians, like, and Kojo had come like a semester before me, and I think when I came here, we were like about 11 Ghanaians, right? Kojo, if I'm
Yeah,
right,
about
not so
11,
many
yeah.
Ghanaians were here at the time after COVID, because there were some that they after COVID people graduated, but when I came, we were just 11, and it still felt like a community because we'd have parties like parties that would be just as welcoming newer students and was amongst like Ghanaians, Thanksgiving parties and just little parties to welcome other students. And then I think 2 years into my study here, we have a Ghanaian WhatsApp group, and then our membership went to like 80, 88, and and I have been here for 4 years going into my fifth, and I still don't know all the Ghanaians because like it keeps increasing. Like Cornelia said, a year ago or so, 2 years, in terms of ranking, I think Ghanaians became the number one uh, instead of Indians. And so now I think we are second, and then Chinese students or Indian students, and then yes. So yeah, we have a community here. You get people, pick you at the airport. That's what Kojo has been doing very well at that, picking people at the airport like every spring, summer, for picking people at the airport. And you have people, if you need a place to crash before uh, your lead starts, you have people volunteering, giving you, household items for you to organize your stay initially. So yes, when we come here, when we get here, we are Ghanaians.
Yeah.
There's no difference. We are Ghanaians, we are Africans, and that's the most important thing.
Wow, wow, wow. That's very comforting. Kojo, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think I'll just sum it up. Yeah, at this point in time, we have maybe about 60 or 70 other Ghanaians. So that's a big number. And then I would say because this is not a very large city, it's become very close-knitted. So everyone watches out for each other. So settling in, from the first day being picked up from the airport, getting a place to be, joining like a church or a congregation where you have other Africans. I think it's much more family than it being in a school. So if you are looking at being at home, then this is definitely the place to be.
And I hear you've been busing the students to campus if they come to the airport. God
Yes,
bless you for
yes.
that. It's
Amen,
good to look
amen.
out for people and let them feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. But I have this question. Are there any schools close by? What's the closest university to NTU?
Okay, I think that would rather be in Wisconsin because where our location is in Michigan, we are a bit far away from other universities in Michigan, like Michigan State or University of Michigan.
Okay.
So we have a Marquette University in Milwaukee, and then we also have University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And so those are like the
So
two
those
closest.
schools are close by.
Yes, there's also Northern Michigan University.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
those are like schools very close by too.
And do you do programs together?
Yeah, it depends. Mostly there are some conferences which are being held, and so occasionally you get to meet people from those universities.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Now I want to talk about funding. Funding. Cash. Jete, kudi, lalamia, moja. L'argent. You all had funding. Can I assume that all Ghanaians at MTU have funding?
No, organ. Yes, depends on also your program and the kind of the level of the program. So I think it's easy for PhD students to get funding here at Michigan Tech and like most US universities. But my exception because in my department, once you're admitted, even if you're a master's student, you get funding. And that's how I don't think it works for people in engineering and others, but my department is different in that regard. That if you're admitted, you get funding, whether a
Please
master's or
mention your
PhD student.
department again so we can write it in bold, and all of us will apply to your department.
Oh, my department is the humanities department. Yes, but the master's and PhD program is named Rhetoric Theory and Culture, and it's interdisciplinary, focuses on communication technology, uh, globalization, and then some aspects of philosophy together. So if you come, you choose an area of specialization, and then you take classes that matches or aligns with your area. So yes, so if you are coming here because you for the masters, then they are also allowed to assist as graduate teaching instructors in my department, and so you get funding uh, once you are admitted. But I don't know for other department. I think Kojo can speak more for the sciences.
Thank you, Kojo. Over to you.
Yeah, I think particularly with the engineering, most of the cases we have seen along the years are PhD students who receive funding. So mostly for the master students, it's a bit hard to get funding in the engineering department. But if your focus is on chemical engineering, with that, there's funding for master students and then PhD as well. And so I'd say for Michigan Tech, mostly it appears that the social sciences is your best bet if you want to be funded as a master student. Yes, but for the engineering courses, mostly PhD is the way to go. But we do have a lot of self-funded master students. So these days, people are also able to acquire student loans and fund themselves. And so, although the masters is not fully funded, we still have a sizable amount of Ghanaians pursuing masters at Michigan Tech where they are self-funded.
Well, it seems Michigan Tech is breaking everything that we felt was not possible. Because for most graduate students will tell you that your best bet of getting funding is to do something in STEM. But this is a case where people in humanities at Michigan Tech are getting more constant and consistent sources of funding than the science people. So hey, I need to call your president and tell him he's doing a good job. Defying everything for us. But that's good. That's good. And that's good information for our students. So we know what to tell them as they do the applications. Eugene, do you have anything to say about this?
So yes, for and that that's what you want me to add to, right? The funding.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
the reason why, like I said, people are funded is also because you assist as a graduate teaching instructor. I think in Michigan Tech they categorize the assistantships, the graduate teaching assistant, and then the instructors, and then the research assistant. In our department, you kind of work more as an adjunct. So you have a class that you actually teach. So you are not assisting a professor, you are actually teaching. And so that's how your assistantship comes in. And if you're a master's, you'll be taking pedagogy courses that will help you to teach, and even for PhD students. And so every semester you have we do a 2-1-2-1 schedule. So you teach 2 classes in the summer, in the fall, 1 in the spring, and then we switch over like that. And so that's how your assistantship comes in. And like we just said, so social sciences, because we do the JTI, you are more likely to get funding. And for the sciences, I guess, depending on the research they are working on and whether their funding is coming through, yes, you can try.
Wow. I'm happy to hear this. Very inspiring, honestly, because I've read about Michigan Technological University. I've heard a few things, but it's very different hearing from you. It makes a huge difference. So I appreciate your time for going through everything with us so that we can appreciate the school in its uniqueness and how they've related to you. What will you say is a support system for international students like? How's the support system like for international students? What arrangement has the school made to make sure international students are fine?
See, it's very reassuring because it was one of the things that I was kind of hesitant about when deciding to come. But during my interview session, I asked like, what structures are in place to ensure that international students are catered for when they find themselves here. And lucky enough for me, we had a faculty member who came into the US as an international student and actually did his PhD here as an international student. He assured actually structures in place. And when I actually got here, I actually realized that it is true. So we have IPS, the International Programs Services, which kind of like is a liaison for international students. Right from the moment you get admission, you are in contact with them with respect to like how you get your visa, you have any questions in housing and all those things. They liaise with the authorities that are above to make sure that the transition is smooth for you when getting here. When you get here too as well, they also run I think this is a course where you're kind of introduced to the American system so that you understand their culture. You know that this is how we do things here so that you don't kind of become estranged with respect to how things are done here. Because trust me, there are a lot of culturally diverse things, like how we do things is very different from how things actually run here. So with that kind of exposure and a course of a sort, we get the opportunity to better understand the system and know like if we find ourselves in difficult situations, how do we reach out to the respective authorities or who should we go to? And I think that has been very, very helpful. And they reach out to us almost every week, program of a sort, something to just make sure that there's a connection between international students and the school authorities. So I think I would say whether it's the same thing with Eugene and Kojo when they came here, but this has been my experience. The course I just mentioned is mandatory for all international students. So if you come here, you must take it so that you better understand like the support systems available to you. So you don't know, I had a situation and I don't know where to go. That would be fun for you. So I think maybe Kojo and Eugene might have had a different experience.
I think it's pretty much the same. So it's in threefold. As you come in first, there's something known as orientation to graduate studies and research. And so that is a program which takes you through what your expectations are and what you have to do as a new graduate student. It also introduces you to the American culture and gives you the resources you would need. There is also Life at Michigan Tech. So with the Life at Michigan Tech, like past students do come in to share their experiences. And so you'd meet other international students who would like guide you through what to do. And then like Cornelius rightly said, we have the IPS. So that is like the designated authority for international students. So when you need to get your visa, your I-20, or even if you become a student here and you want to go out there for an internship, they would facilitate things like that. Or even when you graduate and you would have to work, they would help you with documentation and stuff like OPT, which would enable you to work as a graduate student. So the IPS mostly takes care of the anything related to international students.
You mentioned internships, I'll come to that. But I want to hear Eugene's voice on this. So I can learn about the internship opportunities for international students. And all those of us watching can also follow through. Yeah.
So yes, there's support for international students, and they mentioned the IPS and also the Life at Tech course, which is mandatory for every international student to take. So you learn about basic regulations and laws in the US that, I mean, sometimes you may want to assume that they work the same way in Ghana, but they don't. And so you learn about some of those basic things and even basic American courtesies that you may take for granted because, I mean, the things are a bit different here. The things you take for granted in Ghana, sometimes you cannot take for granted here. And so, yes, when it you take that course and they assist you. I mean, the IPS, if you have questions, you send to them regarding CPT, OPT, and even regarding your visas and other things. They cannot give you a lot of immigration advice because they are not really mandated to do that. But if you need clarification on things, you can talk to them work hours, and if you have conflicts in that area, you can always reach out to them. They also hold Tuesday coffee sessions. I think even in the summer they still do it. Just come and hang out, drink coffee, and chat with other students and the IPS staff, and let them answer your questions.
This is good. Wow, I've learned a lot. I'm sure our audience are also learning a lot. You mentioned internships, and I want to focus on that because for most Ghanaians coming in fact, what surprises us is when we get to the senior high schools, where they have to do a first degree before they can do a master's or even a PhD. Some of the questions they'll be asking is, can we work in the US? Get to the US. How will we get experience to be able to know that we are learning the right thing? I want to find out, OPT would be at a school, but I want to find out the opportunities you get as current students to do internships. And those who studied there, the kind of opportunities they are getting for OPT. For our audience, if you don't know OPT, is optional practical training. Let's use about 30 seconds to answer this each because our time is getting to the end. But I want to hear your views on internships and then OPT.
So,
okay.
So every fall there's career fair, and so you go there. A lot of employers come, and then you go with your CV or your resumes and talk to potential employers. I mean, for internships. And for me as a PhD, my experience that the summer you would be doing research. You'll be doing more like for the sciences, like you'll be doing lab work. Like most of the PhD science, you'll be doing lab work. You'll be doing research. In my department, you'll be doing research, other things, and so you are not focused on internship yet, but you can still go and talk to potential employers at career fairs, and there are a lot of them. If you can't take career fair, I mean, it's relatively large, and so you can talk to a lot of potential employers. And for people even in the engineering, the computer science, it's a good place to really meet some of your dream employers there. And so both the spring and the fall, we have those sessions where you can go and pitch for yourself or market yourself to them. We are also on Handshake. One of the recommendations to get here is to be on Handshake. In every school, but in Michigan Tech, they actually consciously make you get there so you can put in your details and you get potential employer matches and you get recruiters reaching out to you in your messages and telling you about openings at their workplaces. And you can also, when you come, you can search. But for people who ask, how can they work? I mean, if you are in school, you cannot work at an international student. You can only do 20-hour on-campus job. So on campus, yes, you may find potential employment. It depends on your area, but sometimes you may not find something that really aligns with your experience. You may do other administrative jobs, IT assistant jobs, or yes, even work in the restaurants or the cafeterias. These are things on campus jobs.
Wow. Thanks. Cornelius.
Yeah, just to add to what Eugene just said, I think my conversations with PhD students in my department has been that and there's I don't want to say it's a disinterest of a sort, but they don't find much of an alliance between what they would be doing during internship and what they are doing in terms of research. So most of the time they do forego internship opportunities. But I do know that the master's students is something of like a regular kind of stream of a sort for them. And I have a friend of mine that just went for one this summer, but I didn't go because I was engaged during the summer. So there are a lot of opportunities and things that you can do during the summer. For instance, our department, you can get like a summer contract to teach whilst having your holidays online. So it is something that I was fortunate to get. So I didn't engage in any internship opportunities. But come next year, I'm looking forward to getting an internship opportunity. And like Eugene just said, they have this career fair that gives you the opportunity to engage with like industry experts and people coming in with like a lot of opportunities that you can go out there and try your hands out. So I think this is just a bit. So for PhD students, there's a tendency that, oh no, it doesn't work for me on what I'm currently working on. So they don't actually engage with it that much.
Wow, thank you. Pedro.
Okay, so like based on, let's say, the training I had from Kumasi High School, we are taught to be very blunt and straightforward. So I'll keep it that way. There are a lot of internship opportunities, but it's not that simple. You need to put in a lot of work. It's not as if you come here automatically you are going to get an internship. The possibilities of you not getting it is also very high. So you need to put in a lot of applications because it's a competitive environment. Imagine there are about 50 states in the United States. So one of them, I mean, there are so many universities and all of them are still fighting for these positions. And so you'd have to start early. You'd have to reach out to different organizations to increase your chances of getting the internship. Yes, even if you are doing a PhD, there are situations where you can still go for an internship. Actually, I have friends who are PhD students, but currently they are now on internship. And so the possibility is there. But based on what I have seen along the years, I think it's solely based on the effort you put in. The school gives you the resources. For example, we have career services. If you need a resume, they can do it for you. But if you don't go there, no one is going to work on your resume for you. If you need a cover letter, they can help you draft that. They can help you go through the entire process of securing an internship or a co-op. So with a co-op, it means you can even go out there and work for as much as 8 months. There are students here who I know who have gotten the opportunity to go out there and work for 8 months, which is a lot of work experience. But in all of that, I think the onus is on the individual. So the effort you put in, the time, and then the research you do would influence your chances of getting an internship. That's what I would have to say about it.
Thank you all so much. This has been a very educative program. Our time is up. As the conversations were getting nicer, the time was also running fast. But please give us your final words. If somebody wants to come to Michigan Technological University, what will you tell the person? 2 sentences, no more than that.
Okay. I would say do your research. Talk to people already in your target program. These are the 2 kind of sentences that I'll just outline there for people who might be interested.
Thank you. Eugene?
I think I would say come with a focus and then make sure you use all the resources available to you.
Wow, thank you. Pedro?
I would say it's a great opportunity. They should take it. However, it's extremely cold here, so you need to also prepare for that. Yeah.
Wow. I would want to say thank you to all of you You've given us full perspective of what it takes to be able to attend Michigan Technological University. And we are hoping that we'll have our Ghanaian students more join you because you've been such good ambassadors. To our viewers, we are bringing today's session to an end. I'm sure you've learned a lot, as much as we have also done here. If you want to attend Michigan Technological University, that's why we are here as Education USA. Ours is to guide you to know the schools and be able to apply to the school successfully. So if you need any kind of help, you can come to Education USA Kumasi, which is based at ACE Consult, Asukwa, very close to the Kumasi Mall. And if you need any help in Accra or Southern Ghana, you can go to Education USA Accra, which is currently as ACE Consult Accra on Osu, Oxford Street. Ask all the questions and get all the help you need. Look out for our next session, which will be next month. And normally it's the third Friday of the month. We are sure to come back with wonderful people like the three we just had this afternoon. So thank you very much. And then let's all stay in touch. Thank you. Eugene, Kojo, and Cornelius, thank you very much. It's been a great session.
It's been a pleasure as well.
Yeah.
Very welcome.